8 says name the property that is used in each step of the simplification. Okay? So I'm going to put this one over here and I'll just reveal as we go down. The very first one is the distributive property. From the left side to the right side, they have distributed that 3. The next thing they did was they rearranged the order of the 6 and the 6x and the 3y. They just moved them. That is the commutative property of addition. Then they changed what's grouped in parentheses, and they included the 6x and the 4x, so they are associative property of addition. Then they pulled that x out so that 6 and 4 were left on the inside of the parentheses. So that's the distributive property. It's the backwards version of it, but it's still the distributive property. They did that.
Distributive property doesn't have an of multiplication.
No, it doesn't. No, it's so that they could add the 6 and the 4 together, and that's just called addition property. Definition of addition. They just added the 6 and the 4. It's a very, very slow process of combining like terms. That's what they're doing. Then the next step was they wrote 3y plus 10x. They just moved the x and the 10's location, so they just moved them around. They're doing multiplication, so it's the commutative property of multiplication. And then they put the 10x first, plus the 3y, and that's the commutative property of addition. So all they're doing is taking that step by step, and they're reminding you that in order to combine like terms, we go through all these processes. We sometimes don't even realize that we're doing that. We just look at 4x and 6x and we know that's 10x, but these properties are why we can combine them. Everybody got that? 39 says to solve the equation and check for extraneous roots. So tell me how to set this one up. The stuff under my finger is equal to 9 plus 2x, or it is equal to the opposite of 9 plus 2x. Now look at how I did that. I put that entire thing in parentheses. That negative on the outside is going to apply to all those parts. So I'm going to solve the first one. 2x plus 3 is 9. 2x is 6. X is 3. I'm going to solve the second one. I'm going to distribute. I'm going to add the 2x. 6x plus 3 is negative 9. Subtract 3. 6x is negative 12. X is negative 2. Now, I have to check for extraneous roots, so I've got to plug these in and see if they actually work. So I'm going to try 3 in this original problem. I'm going to test out the 3. Does the absolute value of 4 times 3 plus 3 equal 9 plus 2 times 3? Well, that's 12 plus 3, that's 15. Does that equal 9 plus 6 is 15? Does 15 equal 15? Yes. That one works. Let's try the next one. Does the absolute value of 4 times negative 2 plus 3 really equal 9 plus 2 times negative 2?
So it's going to be square root of negative 8 plus 3.
Well, the absolute value of negative 8 plus 3, which is the absolute value of negative 5, and we're checking to see if it's equal to 5. And it does. So this one has two answers. It's -3 and -2. Number 40 says, suppose 10 out of 25 students have dogs. What is the theoretical probability a student selected at random will have a pet that's a dog? 10 out of 25, which reduces to 2/5 or 40%. Using your results, predict how many dog-owning students you can expect in a group of 200. So 10 out of 25 is equal to how many out of 200? You need to solve that proportion any way you want. You may look at this and you may say, oh, I see easily that 25 times, what is it, Braden?
40%. I went 0.4 times 200
That's perfectly fine.
equals 80 students.
And somebody else might have looked at it and said 25 times 8 is 200 and 10 times 8 is 80. Either way. There's more ways than that. Those are just two of the possible ways. 41, what is the maximum number of 3 to 5 minute songs that can fill a 120-minute CD? What is the minimum number? Okay. I really need to move to a cleaner copy of this. Does everybody have their copy? Okay, before I start writing on this one. What is the maximum number of 3.5 to 5 minute songs that can fill a 120-minute CD? If you have 120 minutes and you want to know the maximum number, then you better make every song 3.5 minutes long. So what do we get when we do that? $34.3. So how many songs would that be? 34 songs. That's the maximum. Okay? If I take that and I want the minimum number of songs, I'm going to let every song be 5 minutes. And I get 24. So the number of songs needs to be less than or equal to 34, greater than or equal to 24.
Okay, so the number of songs on one list has to be greater than or equal to 24 songs, less than or equal to 34 songs.
Make sense? Okay. 42. Describe the difference in the graphs of the absolute value of x is less than a and absolute value of x is greater than a, where a is a positive real number.
Use that in English, please.
What's the difference? What's the difference between this?
The signs.
This one points to the left and this one points to the right. Which one's which? Which one's an or? Which one's an and? Right is or. I told y'all how to remember that at the beginning because of the R. So this is an or, and this is an and. Now, how do their graphs differ?
And is going to be 2 sets.
And is shaded in the middle or on the outsides? In the middle. Or is shaded on the outsides. It's an outie. Okay. Do these have open circles or closed circles in this particular example? Open. Why?
Because they're
Okay. What are the coordinates here and here for this particular problem? And here and here. Correct. Make 3 graphs. Write a compound inequality that describes all of them. So let's see here. 3 graphs. X is greater than -1. There's 0, there's -1. Open circle. shading to the right. That's the first one. The next one says x is less than or equal to 4. Colored circle, shading to the left. And the last one says it's greater than or equal to 1. Colored circle, shading over here. Now, write a compound inequality that describes all of the numbers which are solutions to both inequalities. Well, they meant all three. What they meant.
Oh, so it's gonna be one graph.
One graph, all three. What part of the graph is covered by all three? Let me go through the parts of the graph. What about this section? Is it covered by all three? No. What about this section? This section's covered by the green and the ink pen, but not the blue highlighter. What about this section?
Okay, yeah, I see.
This section's covered by what? The green and the pen and the blue highlighter. What about this section?
That's gonna be a hard problem to test.
Is this covered by? No. So this is your answer right here. Now here's what you have to do. We know it's from 1 to 4. I need to know about the symbols. So now you got to look at the dots. Are they colored dots or are they open dots? They're colored. So we're greater than or equal to that and less than or equal to that.